He rubbed her tired eyes and stared at the monitor screen. It was 3 in the morning at the Deep Space Listening Station, and her shift had 6 more hours to go. Most nights were quiet. She listened to the background noise of the universe, the static and hum of distant stars. Tonight felt different. A sound cut through the static. It was faint at first, then grew stronger. Hay sat up straight and adjusted her headphones. Her fingers moved quickly across the keyboard, isolating the signal. This was not random noise. This was a message. "Computer, analyze signal pattern," she said. The screen filled with data. The computer worked for several minutes, then displayed its findings. The message was alien, not human. Hay's heart began to race. In her 5 years at the station, she had never received an actual alien transmission. She played the message again. It sounded like musical notes mixed with what might be words. The computer's translation program started working. Slowly, words appeared on her screen. "Help us. We are dying. The conquerors came from the dark. Our cities burn. Our people fall. We have no weapons. We have no soldiers. Please, Galactic Council, send aid. These are our coordinates. Please hurry. They are killing us all," the message repeated, over and over. The same desperate plea. Hay reached for the communication panel and pressed the emergency button. "This is Station 7. I need command. Now." Within minutes, her supervisor appeared on the video screen. "What is it, Hay?" "Sir, I have an alien distress call." "A real one. They're under attack." The supervisor's face changed from annoyed to shocked. "Send it to me. Right now." Hay transferred the signal. She could hear the supervisor playing it on his end. There was a long silence. "I'm calling the captain," the supervisor finally said. "Stay on this frequency. Record everything." Hay did not sleep for the rest of her shift. She listened to the alien message, heard the fear and pain in those strange voices. She wondered who they were. She wondered who was attacking them. Most of all, she wondered what Earth would do about it. Captain Day arrived at the communications center 6 hours later. He was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. He had fought in the colony wars and survived the Mars Rebellion. People said he was the best ship captain in the Earth fleet. He listened to the message 3 times without speaking. Then he turned to Hay. "You did good work." "How far away are they?" "About 40 light years, sir," Hay answered. "The message is 2 weeks old. It took that long to reach us." Day closed his eyes. 2 weeks. "The aliens might already be dead. They called for the Galactic Council," Day said. "Not us." "Yes, sir. But we're the ones who received it." Day looked at the younger officer. There was something in her eyes. Hope, maybe. Or determination. He had seen that look before in soldiers who believed they were fighting for something important. "The Galactic Council doesn't talk to us," Day said. "They think we're too violent. Too dangerous. They say Earth is a death world and we're Deathworlders. They want nothing to do with us." "I know, sir. But these aliens don't know that. They just know they're dying and no one is coming." Day turned back to the screen. He played the message one more time. The fear in those voices was real. This was not a trick or a test. Someone out there was suffering and they had asked for help. "Get me Admiral Bo-Ra," Day said. The video call connected to Earth's military headquarters. Admiral Bo-Ra appeared on screen. She was older than Day with sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Captain Day, I've already heard about your alien message. The whole command structure is talking about it. Admiral, we need to discuss response options." Bo-Ra shook her head. "There's nothing to discuss. That message was sent to the Galactic Council, not to Earth. We have no authority to act." "With respect, Admiral, we have every authority. Someone asked for help. It doesn't matter if they meant to ask us or not. It matters to the Council. If we interfere, they could declare war on Earth. We've been isolated for 30 years because they fear us. Do you want to give them a reason to attack?" Day leaned closer to the camera. "Admiral, I've read the reports about the Council. They talk and debate and discuss. They're peaceful species who don't understand war. While they're having meetings, those aliens will die. Maybe they're already dead. But if there's a chance, even a small one, that we can save them, shouldn't we try?" Bo-Ra was quiet for a long time. Day could see her thinking, weighing options. Finally, she spoke. "The Council calls us Deathworlders. They say Earth is too harsh, too dangerous. They say it made us into monsters who only know violence. Maybe they're right. Maybe we are more violent than other species." She paused. "But maybe that's exactly what those aliens need right now. Not diplomats. Not peacekeepers. They need warriors. Day felt something shift in his chest. Are you giving me permission to respond, Admiral? I'm giving you an order, Captain. Mobilize your fleet. Go to those coordinates. If there are aliens still alive, you save them. If there are attackers still there, you remove them. Show the galaxy what Deathworlders can do when they're protecting someone instead of threatening them. Yes, ma'am. What about the Council? Bora smiled, but it was not a happy smile. Let me worry about the Council. You just worry about saving lives. And Captain? Come back alive. I don't want to explain to your family why I sent you to start a war. The call ended. Day stood in the communications center and looked around at the staff watching him. They had all heard the conversation. They all knew what was about to happen. Hey, Day said, send that alien message to every ship in the fleet. Make sure every crew member hears it. I want them to know exactly who we're fighting for. Yes, sir. Right away. Day walked to the observation window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 40 light-years away, people were dying. The Galactic Council had ignored them or would arrive too late. But Earth had heard them, and Earth was coming. He thought about what Bora had said. Maybe humans were more violent than other species. Maybe growing up on a harsh planet full of predators and diseases and natural disasters had made them different, harder, stronger, more willing to fight. But it had also made them something else. It had made them protective. On Earth, the strong defended the weak. That was how tribes survived. That was how cities were built. That was how humanity reached the stars. The Council feared Earth because humans knew war. They did not understand that humans also knew why war was sometimes necessary, to protect, to defend, to stand between the innocent and those who would harm them. Day picked up his communication device. This is Captain Day to all fleet commanders. Prepare for full mobilization. We have a rescue mission. I want every combat-ready ship fueled and armed within 24 hours. We're going to war. Across the solar system, alarms began to sound. The human fleet was waking up, and the galaxy was about to learn what happened when the wrong hands received a call for help. Sometimes the wrong hands were exactly the right ones. The alarm echoed through the Mars military base at 4 a.m. Commander Quan rolled out of bed and grabbed his uniform. He had been in the military for 20 years and knew that sound. It was not a drill. He ran to the command center and found his staff already at their posts. The main screen showed a message from Earth Command. Quan read it twice to make sure he understood. Are they serious? His second officer asked. We're going to rescue aliens. That's what it says. Get every ship ready. I want full battle loadouts. Weapons, shields, armor, everything. Yes, sir. How many ships? Quan looked at the roster. Mars Station had 40 heavy cruisers, the big ships with enough firepower to destroy a small moon. All of them. Every single one. The officer's eyes went wide. Sir, that's our entire defensive fleet. If we leave, Mars will be unprotected. Then Mars better hope we win, Quan said. Because if we lose, having ships here won't matter anyway. Now move. Across the solar system, the same scene played out. On the moon, Colonel Yun supervised the launch of destroyer squadrons. At the asteroid belt mining stations, engineers loaded supply ships with ammunition and spare parts. At Earth's orbital shipyards, technicians worked day and night to finish the newest weapon systems. Engineer Hyun stood in the weapons bay of the UES Indomitable, Captain Day's flagship. Around him, his team installed the new railgun systems. These weapons fired solid metal slugs at incredible speeds. Most alien shields were designed to stop energy weapons like lasers. No one in the galaxy used kinetic weapons anymore because they were old technology. That was their mistake. Will these work? A young technician asked Hyun. They'll work. The question is how well. Hyun ran his hand along the barrel of the massive gun. Every other species in the galaxy thinks we're primitive because we still use projectile weapons. They don't understand that sometimes the old ways are better. You can have fancy energy shields, but physics is physics. A chunk of metal moving at 0.3 light speed will go right through any shield. Have we tested them? On asteroids, yes. On alien ships? Hyun smiled. We're about to find out. In the communications center, Hay worked with Sol, the fleet's xenolinguist. Sol was younger than Hay and had spent his whole life studying alien languages. Now he had a real alien message to work with. I've analyzed the distress call, Sol said, showing Hay his data. The species calls themselves Quillians. Based on the audio patterns, I think they might be aquatic or semi-aquatic. Their language has a flowing musical quality. What else can you tell? They mentioned conquerors in their message. I cross-referenced that with our limited knowledge of galactic species. There's a group called the Vraxians. They're reptilian, very aggressive. They've been conquering smaller species for decades. The Galactic Council has tried diplomacy with them, but it never works. So these Quillians are peaceful, and the Vraxians are attacking them. That's my guess. The Quillians said they have no weapons and no soldiers. I don't think they even have a military. They probably expected the Council to protect them. Hay felt anger building in her chest. The Council abandoned them. Maybe. Or maybe the Council is just too slow. They're bureaucrats, not warriors. By the time they finished debating what to do, the Quillians could be extinct. Hay looked at the star map showing their destination. 40 light-years. With the new faster-than-light drives, the fleet could get there in about 4 days. 4 days to cover a distance that would take light 40 years. Human technology was not as advanced as some galactic species, but humans had learned to be creative. We'll get there in time, Hai said. We have to. Lieutenant Tay sat in the pilot simulator running combat scenarios. He was 26 years old and had never fought in a real space battle. The colony wars had ended before he joined the military. He had trained his whole career for a war that never came. Now war was coming and he was terrified. The simulator threw another enemy ship at him. Tay's fingers moved across the controls, dodging and returning fire. The enemy exploded. The simulator reset and launched 3 more enemies. Tay destroyed those too. You're doing well, a voice said behind him. Tay jumped and turned. Captain Day stood there watching the simulator screen. Sorry, sir. I didn't hear you come in. Don't apologize. Stay focused on your training. Day sat down in the seat next to the simulator. Are you scared? Tay hesitated. Was this a test? Should he lie and say he was brave? But something in the captain's eyes made him tell the truth. Yes, sir. I'm scared. Good. Fear keeps you alive. It makes you careful. It's the people who aren't scared that get killed. Day pointed at the simulator. You know why we train so hard? Why every human military member runs drills until they can fight in their sleep? To be ready, sir. No. To make sure that when fear comes, your body knows what to do without thinking. In battle, you won't have time to be scared. Your training will take over. Trust your training, Lieutenant, and trust your crewmates. We're all scared together. Tay felt something relax in his chest. The captain was scared too. They were all scared. That made it easier somehow. Sir, can I ask a question? Go ahead. Why are we doing this? These aliens didn't ask for our help specifically. They don't even know we exist. We could just ignore the message and stay safe. Day stood up and walked to the window. Outside, hundreds of ships were gathering, their lights blinking in the darkness of space. The largest fleet humanity had ever assembled. Do you know why the Galactic Council fears us, Lieutenant? They say Earth is a death world, that it made us too violent. That's part of it. Earth is harsh. We evolved fighting predators, diseases, natural disasters. Most aliens come from easier worlds, planets where life is gentle and peaceful. They don't understand why humans are so tough, so stubborn, so willing to fight. But we're not monsters, Tay said. No, we're not, and that's what the Council doesn't understand. Yes, Earth made us strong, but it also taught us to protect each other. On Earth, the weak die unless the strong defend them. That's how families work. That's how communities work. We learned that strength without compassion is just cruelty, but compassion without strength is just words. Day turned back to Tay. We're going because someone asked for help and no one else answered. We're going because it's right. And we're going to show the galaxy that humans aren't monsters. We're guardians. We just needed someone to guard. The next day, the fleet was ready. 247 ships of all sizes. Heavy cruisers with enough firepower to level cities. Fast destroyers built for speed and maneuverability. Supply ships carrying food, medicine, and ammunition. And fighters. Hundreds of small one-person craft that could move faster than anything else in space. Captain Day stood on the bridge of the UES Indomitable and looked at his crew. Hai at communications, Wu at tactical, Sol at the xenolinguistics station, Tay at the pilot controls, and dozens of others all ready to do their job. Status report, Day ordered. All ships report ready, sir, Wu said. Weapons loaded. Shields at maximum. FTL drives charged. Communication with Earth Command is clear, Hai added. Admiral Bora wishes us good luck. Day nodded. He opened a channel to the entire fleet. Every ship, every crew member could hear him. This is Captain Day to all vessels. You've all heard the message. You know what we're flying into. A species we've never met is dying. The people who were supposed to help them won't get there in time, so we're going instead." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "The Galactic Council calls us Deathworlders. They think we're too dangerous, too violent. Maybe they're right. Maybe we are more willing to fight than other species. But today we're going to show them what that really means. We're not going to conquer. We're not going to destroy for glory or territory. We're going to protect. We're going to save lives. We're going to prove that strength is only dangerous when it serves evil. When it serves good, it's the most beautiful thing in the universe." Day looked at his crew. They were watching him with trust in their eyes. "All ships prepare for jump. Destination Quilea system. Let's go save some aliens." The fleet activated their FTL drives. Space bent and twisted around them. In a flash of light, 247 human warships vanished from the solar system. They were going to war, but not the kind of war the galaxy expected. The human fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Quilea system. Immediately, every sensor on every ship began screaming warnings. Captain Day stared at the tactical display on the bridge of the Indomitable. "Report." Commander Wu worked the tactical console, his face growing darker as data streamed across his screen. "Sir, I count 63 enemy vessels in orbit around the planet. They're bombarding the surface. I'm detecting massive energy discharges. They're burning the planet." Day felt his jaw tighten. They were not too late, but they were close. "What about the Quileans? Are they still alive?" He worked her communication station. "I'm picking up scattered transmissions from the surface." "Yes, sir. Some of them are still alive. But the cities," her voice broke. "The cities are being destroyed." On the tactical screen, Day could see the enemy ships. They were large, ugly things that looked like someone had grown machines from living tissue. Biomechanical warships. "The Vraxians. Analyze their capabilities," Day ordered. Wu zoomed in on the nearest enemy ship. Heavy armor. Multiple weapon ports firing plasma-based energy weapons. Shields optimized for deflecting energy attacks. Their ships are slow, built like tanks, designed to overwhelm defenders with raw firepower. "What about their tactics?" "They're just sitting in orbit, sir. No formation. No coordination. They're not even watching their flanks. They think they've already won." Day looked at the planet on the view screen. It was beautiful, mostly blue-green with white clouds, but as he watched, bright flashes appeared on the surface where the Vraxian weapons struck. Each flash was a city dying. "Split the fleet into 3 groups," Day ordered. "Group Alpha takes the left flank. Group Beta takes the right. Group Gamma goes straight down the middle with me. We're going to hit them from 3 sides at once." "Wu, send the attack plan to all ships." "Sir, shouldn't we try to communicate first?" Saul asked from the xenolinguistic station. "Make contact, warn them?" "They're burning a planet full of innocents, Saul. I don't think they want to talk." Day opened a fleet-wide channel. "All ships, battle speed. Weapons free. Show them what Deathworlders can do." The human fleet accelerated toward the planet. The Vraxian ships finally noticed them. On the bridge of the Vraxian flagship, Commander Shalkax looked at the approaching fleet with amusement. His scales glittered under the bridge lights as he laughed. "What are these insects?" he asked his crew. "Did the Council finally send help?" He laughed harder. 63 ships against our fleet? They must be suicidal." "Sir, should we hail them?" his communications officer asked. "Yes, let's have some fun." The communication channel opened. Shalkax saw a human face on his screen. The alien was strange-looking, with flat teeth and small eyes. No scales, no claws. How did such a weak creature survive? "Unknown vessels, this is Commander Shalkax of the Vraxian Dominion. This planet now belongs to us. Retreat immediately or be destroyed. We do not wish to waste ammunition on such pitiful ships." The human stared back at him. When it spoke, its voice was cold and hard. "This is Captain Day of the United Earth Fleet. You are attacking a species that asked for help. We're answering their call. Withdraw your ships immediately or we will remove you by force." Shalkax could not believe what he was hearing. These aliens were threatening him? Earth? "I have never heard of Earth. You are nothing. You are insects. I will step on you." The human's face did not change. "You had your chance. All ships engage." The communication ended. Shalkax was about to order his fleet to destroy these impudent aliens when his sensor officer screamed, "Commander, they're moving! They're moving too fast." The human ships had been far away one moment. The next moment they were everywhere. They moved with a speed and agility that Shalkax had never seen before. His ships were powerful but slow. These human vessels darted around like angry insects, impossible to target. Fire! Fire everything! Shalkax screamed. The Varaxian fleet opened fire with their plasma weapons. Bright green energy bolts shot through space. But the human ships moved, twisted, dodged. The few shots that hit their shields bounced off harmlessly. The human shields flickered but held. Their shields are weak, Shalkax's tactical officer reported. But we can't hit them. Then the humans fired back. Tay piloted the Indomitable through the battle space, his hands moving faster than thought. The ship twisted and turned, dodging enemy fire. Behind him, he could hear Commander Wu calling out targets. Firing railguns, Wu announced. The ship shuddered as the massive railguns fired. Solid metal slugs accelerated to incredible speeds shot across space. They hit a Vraxian cruiser. The results were devastating. The Vraxian shields, designed to stop energy weapons, did nothing against solid projectiles. The railgun slugs punched straight through the shield, through the armor, and through the ship itself. The Vraxian cruiser exploded from the inside. Target destroyed, Wu shouted with excitement. Their shields are useless against kinetic weapons. All ships focus fire, Day ordered over the fleet channel. Hit them hard! The human fleet attacked with precision. The Vraxians had never fought an enemy like this. Most species in the galaxy had abandoned kinetic weapons centuries ago. Energy weapons were cleaner, more efficient, more civilized. Humans did not care about civilized. They cared about winning. Fighter pilot Yu Jin led her squadron toward a Vraxian carrier. The big ship was launching its own fighters, smaller biomechanical craft that looked like flying scorpions. Gold Squadron, attack pattern Delta, Yu Jin ordered. Her squadron formed up and dove toward the carrier. The Vraxian fighters tried to intercept them. But human pilots trained differently than aliens. On Earth, pilots had to withstand extreme forces. Human bodies were tougher, denser, built to survive on a high-gravity death world. Yu Jin pulled a turn that created forces that would have killed most alien pilots. Her squadron's missiles streaked toward the carrier. The carrier's shields tried to stop them, but the missiles were designed to be smart. They used artificial intelligence to find weak points. They hit the carrier's fighter bay just as it was launching more craft. The explosion was spectacular. The entire fighter bay detonated, setting off a chain reaction. The carrier broke in half. Carrier down, Yu Jin reported. Moving to next target. The battle lasted 90 minutes. By the end, 20 Vraxian ships were destroyed or crippled. The rest were trying to retreat. Shalkax stared at his tactical display in horror. Impossible. His mighty fleet was being torn apart by these unknown aliens. How could this be happening? Commander, we must retreat. His tactical officer shouted. No! We do not flee from... Shalkax's words were cut off as another railgun slug tore through his flagship's shields and punched a hole in the main power core. Alarms screamed throughout the ship. Abandoned ship. Abandoned ship. Someone was screaming. Shalkax watched as his fleet scattered, running for their lives. The human ships pursued them, destroying any vessel too slow to escape. Finally, he gave the order he never thought he would give. All ships retreat. Full speed. Get us out of here. The surviving Vraxian ships fled the system, jumping to faster than light as soon as they were able. They left behind 17 destroyed vessels and hundreds of dead crew members. The human fleet held position around the planet. On every ship, crews were cheering, celebrating their victory. They had done it. They had saved the planet. Captain Day did not celebrate. He looked at the planet below and thought about all the Quillians who had died before the humans arrived. Too many. Far too many. Hey, open a channel to the planet. All frequencies. Channel open, sir. Day took a deep breath. This was the moment. First contact with an alien species. Not through diplomacy or trade. Through war. This is Captain Day of the United Earth Fleet to the people of Quilea. Your distress call was received. We came as fast as we could. The attackers have been driven off. You are safe now. We mean you no harm. We are here to help. There was a long silence. Then Hayes' console lit up with incoming transmissions. Hundreds of them, thousands. Sir, I'm receiving messages from all over the planet. They're all saying the same thing. Hayes' eyes were wet with tears. They're saying thank you. Sewell worked to translate the Quillian responses. The musical, flowing language filled the bridge. Even without translation, everyone could hear the emotion in those alien voices. Relief, joy, hope. Captain, I'm receiving a direct communication from someone calling themselves the Prime Scholar. I think it's their leader. Put it on screen. The view screen changed. For the first time, humans saw a Quillian. It looked like a jellyfish made of light and color, beautiful and delicate. It floated in what appeared to be water, its translucent body pulsing with emotion. When it spoke, Sewell translated. You came. We called for the council, but you came instead. Who are you? Day stood up straight. We are humans. We are from a planet called Earth. We received your message and came to help. But why? You do not know us. Why would you risk yourselves? Day thought about that question. Why indeed? Because it was right. Because someone needed help. Because humans knew what it was like to feel helpless and alone. Because someone had to. Day said simply. And we were the ones who heard. The Quillian Prime Scholar seemed to shimmer with emotion. The council calls your kind Deathworlders. They said you were too dangerous to join the galactic community. But you saved us. The Quillian Prime Scholar floated into the meeting room aboard the Indomitable. His name was Velnaris, and he moved through the air-filled chamber with difficulty. The humans had prepared a special tank of water for him, but he had insisted on meeting them in person, even if it meant discomfort. Captain Day stood as Velnaris entered. The alien's translucent body glowed with colors that Sewell said indicated respect and gratitude. Around the table sat Commander Wu Hei and several other senior officers. Please sit, or float, whatever is comfortable for you, Day said, gesturing to the water tank they had prepared. Velnaris drifted into the tank and seemed to relax immediately. His colors brightened. Thank you for accommodating my needs. I wanted to meet the ones who saved my people. We did what anyone should have done, Day replied. But no one else did. Velnaris's colors shifted to something that might have been sadness. We sent our distress call to the Galactic Council. They are supposed to protect species like us, the peaceful ones who cannot defend themselves. But they did not come. Why not? He asked. Aren't they supposed to help? The council is complicated. They talk much but act slowly. They would have debated for weeks about whether to intervene, about the proper diplomatic approach, about the legal authority to act. Meanwhile, my people died. Velnaris paused, his colors flickering. But you came immediately. Why? Wu leaned forward. Can I ask you something first? Did you know about Earth? About humans? No. The Council has extensive records of the galaxy, but Earth was not in them. You are unknown to us, the humans exchanged glances. Saul spoke up. We've been monitoring galactic communications for 30 years. We know about the Council. We know they've deliberately kept us isolated. They decided we were too dangerous to join the galactic community. Dangerous? Velnaris's colors showed confusion. You saved us. How are you dangerous? They call us Deathworlders, Day explained. Our planet Earth is harsh. It has extreme weather, dangerous predators, deadly diseases. Most species in the galaxy evolved on easier worlds. They think Earth made us too aggressive, too violent. Velnaris was quiet for a long moment. I do not understand this. Yes, you fight fiercely. We watch the battle. Your warriors are skilled and your weapons are powerful, but you use that power to protect us. This is not dangerous. This is beautiful. He felt tears in her eyes. This innocent alien could see what the Advanced Council could not. Strength was only dangerous when used for evil. Tell us about your people, Dee said gently. Help us understand what you need. Over the next hour, Velnaris explained Quillian culture. They were a species of artists, philosophers, and scientists. They had never developed weapons because they had never needed them. On their world, different communities resolved conflicts through discussion and compromise. The very concept of war was alien to them. They had no word for soldier or weapon in their language. When the Vraxians came, we did not know what to do, Velnaris said, his colors turning dark. They demanded our resources. We offered to trade. They demanded our surrender. We tried to negotiate. They began destroying our cities. We had nothing to fight back with. We are scholars, not warriors, so we called for help. And we answered, Day said. Yes. But I must ask, what do you want in return? In the galaxy, nothing is free. What is your price for saving us? The human officers looked at each other. Wu shrugged. Hay smiled. Day leaned back in his chair. We don't want anything, Velnaris. We helped because it was right. That's all. The Quillian's colors flashed through several shades the translator could not interpret. I do not understand. You traveled far. You risked your lives. Your ships were damaged. Some of your people were injured. You want nothing? Maybe someday you can teach us about your art or your science. Maybe we can be friends, but we don't require payment for doing what's right. Velnaris floated closer to the glass of his tank, staring at Day with eyes that were ancient and wise. The council is wrong about you. They are very, very wrong. Meanwhile, in the medical bay, Dr. Daun worked with Quilian refugees who had been brought aboard human ships. The aliens were traumatized, their colors dim and flickering. Many had lost family members in the attack. Daun had trained to treat humans, not jellyfish like aliens, but she did her best. She learned quickly that Quilians responded to gentle touch and soft sounds. She played music for them, classical pieces from Earth that seemed to calm them. One young Quilian, barely more than a child, reached out a tentacle and touched Daun's hand. The translator bracelet interpreted the gesture as trust. "You are kind," the young alien said. "Not like the ones who hurt us." Daun felt her heart break. "We're not all like the Vraxians. Most of us are good. We try to help. The Prime Scholar says you are Deathworlders. He says your world made you strong. Is that true?" "Yes, our world is hard, but it also taught us to take care of each other. On Earth, families protect each other. Communities help each other. That's how we survive." The young Quilian's colors brightened slightly. "I like that. Protecting each other." Across the fleet, similar scenes played out. Human crew members interacted with Quilians, learning about their culture, offering comfort and aid. It was strange and wonderful. Humans had dreamed of meeting aliens for centuries. Now it was happening, and it was nothing like they expected, but not everyone was happy about what happened. 3 days after the battle, a new fleet arrived in the Quilea system. These ships were different from human vessels or Vraxian warships. They were elegant, beautiful, made of what looked like crystal and light. The Galactic Council had finally arrived. Captain Day watched the new fleet on his tactical display. 30 ships, all bearing the symbol of the Council. They took up position near the planet but kept their distance from the human fleet. "They're hailing us." "Sir," Hay reported. "Put it on screen." The view screen showed a tall alien that looked like it was made of living crystal. Its body refracted light into rainbows. When it spoke, its voice was like music, but there was steel underneath the beauty. "I am Council Speaker Thelvar. I am here to inquire about the incident in this system." "By what authority did Earth vessels intervene in this matter?" Day stood up and faced the alien leader. "By the authority of doing what's right." The Quilians sent a distress call. We responded. "That call was meant for the Council, not for Earth. You had no right to act. You weren't coming fast enough. The Quilians were dying." Thelvar's crystal body seemed to darken. "Earth has been isolated from galactic affairs for good reason. You are aggressive, violent, unpredictable. You come from a death world that made you dangerous. We cannot allow such a species to operate freely in Council space." "Dangerous?" Wu stood up beside Day. "We saved lives. The Vraxians were committing genocide, and you would have let them finish before you arrived. We would have handled it diplomatically. Violence is not always the answer." "It is when people are dying," Day said coldly. "Where was your diplomacy when the Quilian cities burned? Where was the Council when innocent beings were being slaughtered? You do not understand the complexities of galactic politics. I understand that you failed. And we didn't." The transmission went silent. Other aliens appeared on the screen next to Thelvar. One of them was a feline creature with golden fur and intelligent eyes. She spoke in a purring voice. "Perhaps we should listen before we judge. I am Counselor Miranesh, Speaker Thelvar. The humans did save the Quilians. Surely that counts for something." "It counts as interference," Thelvar said. "They should not have been here at all." "But they were," Miranesh replied. "And now the Quilians are alive because of it. Perhaps we need to reconsider our position on Earth." "Absolutely not. They are too dangerous." Admiral Bora's face appeared on a separate screen. She had been monitoring the conversation from Earth Command. "Dangerous to whom? To conquerors like the Vraxians? Yes, we are dangerous to them. But to innocents? We just proved we're willing to die to protect them." Thelvar seemed to vibrate with frustration. "This is not over. The Council will debate this matter. Earth may face consequences for this action." "Let them debate," Bora said. "Let them discuss and talk and form committees. While they're doing that, we'll be out here actually protecting people, because that's what Deathworlders do." The transmission ended. Day sat down heavily in his chair. Wu looked worried. "Sir, did we just make enemies of the entire Council? Maybe, or maybe we made them think. Time will tell." Velnaris had been watching the exchange from the observation deck. He turned to Sol, who had been translating. "Your people are brave," the Quillian said. "The Council has great power. They could make things difficult for Earth." Sol nodded. "We know. But Captain Day is right. Sometimes you have to stand up for what's right, even if it costs you. On my world, we have a saying, the strongest current moves the deepest waters. Your people are a strong current, Sol. You will move many waters," Sol smiled. "I hope so. The galaxy needs moving." Outside the ships, space was calm again. The battle was over. The Quillians were safe, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. Earth had announced itself to the galaxy in the loudest way possible. Now there was no going back. The Deathworlders had arrived, and nothing would ever be the same. 2 weeks after the battle, Captain Day stood in the observation deck of the Indomitable and watched as Council ships continued to arrive in the Quilea system. What started as 30 vessels had grown to over 100. The Council was making a statement. They wanted Earth to know they were serious, but Earth was making a statement too. The human fleet had not moved. They stayed in orbit around Quilea, protecting the planet while the Quillians rebuilt. Every day, human engineers went down to the surface to help repair damaged cities. Medical teams treated the wounded. Supply ships brought food and materials. The Quillians called the humans saviors. The Council called them problems. Commander Wu entered the observation deck carrying a datapad. "Sir, we just received a transmission from Earth. The United Nations has been in emergency session for 3 days straight. They're debating the Council's latest proposal." "What are they offering this time?" "Provisional membership in the Galactic Council. Earth would have a seat at the table, but with limited voting rights and restrictions on military deployment. We could not act independently without Council approval." Day took the datapad and read through the proposal. "They want us on a leash." "That's the general feeling back home, yes. But sir, it's still a seat at the table. We would be part of the galactic community, officially recognized. At what cost? We proved we can act when the Council can't or won't. If we accept their restrictions, what happens the next time someone needs help and the Council is too slow?" Wu had no answer. They both knew what would happen. More innocents would die while bureaucrats debated. On Earth, in the Grand Chamber of the United Nations, representatives from every nation argued about the Council's offer. Ambassador Ho stood at the podium trying to bring order to the chaos. "Please everyone, let's be rational about this," Ho said. "Yes, the Council's terms are not ideal, but this is a starting point. We can negotiate better terms once we're inside the system." "Negotiate?" The representative from Brazil stood up. "The Council isolated us for 30 years because they were afraid of us. Now we save an entire species and they want to put restrictions on us? That's not negotiation. That's surrender. It's politics," Ho replied. "This is how the galaxy works. We need to be practical." "Practical?" The representative from Korea stood now. "Our people risked their lives to save the Quillians. Captain Day and his crew are heroes, and now we're supposed to tell them they did something wrong, that they need permission to save lives?" The chamber erupted in arguments again. Ho sat down and rubbed his tired eyes. This was going to take a while. Back in the Quilea system, something unexpected was happening. Counselor Miranesh, the feline alien who had spoken up for Earth during the first confrontation, had requested a private meeting with Captain Day. He met her on a neutral shuttle between the two fleets. Miranesh was beautiful in an alien way. Her golden fur caught the light and her green eyes were sharp and intelligent. She moved with grace that reminded Day of the big cats on Earth. "Captain Day, thank you for meeting with me," she said, her voice that strange purring sound. "Counselor, what can I do for you?" "I want to talk honestly, away from Speaker Thelvar and the others. May I be blunt? Please. The Council is afraid of you, not because you're violent or aggressive, but because you expose our greatest weakness." Day raised an eyebrow. "Which is?" "We talk but don't act. We debate but don't decide. We make rules but don't enforce them. For centuries, the Council has maintained peace through diplomacy and discussion. It works well when everyone agrees to participate. But what happens when someone like the Vraxians refuses to talk? When they choose violence over words? You do nothing, Day said quietly. Exactly. We do nothing. Oh, we condemn them. We pass resolutions. We impose sanctions. But the Vraxians laugh at our sanctions. They keep conquering and we keep talking. Then you arrive. Unknown Deathworlders from a planet we've never heard of. And in 90 minutes, you solve a problem we've been debating for years. Miranesh leaned forward. Do you know how that makes us look? How weak that makes the council appear? That's not our problem. No, but it's mine. I represent the Felinar species. We are predators like you. We understand the need for strength. But we've been outvoted by the peaceful species for so long that we've forgotten how to use our claws. You reminded us, and some of us are grateful. What are you saying, Counselor? I'm saying you have allies on the council. Species who are tired of being helpless. Species who believe that sometimes protecting the innocent requires more than words. We're forming a coalition. We want Earth to join the council, but not on Speaker Thelvar's terms. Unequal terms. Day studied the alien across from him. Was this a trick? Or was she genuine? How many species are in this coalition of yours? 23 so far, out of 142 council species. Not enough to control policy, but enough to block Thelvar's restrictions. With Earth's voice added, we might have enough to change things. Change them how? Create a new role. The council has peacekeepers, diplomats, scientists, but we have no defenders. No one willing to actually fight when fighting is necessary. Earth could fill that role. The galaxy's guardians. Day felt something stir in his chest. Guardians. That's what Velnaris had called them. What humanity could be. I need to discuss this with Earth Command. Of course. But Captain? Whatever happens, thank you for showing us that strength and compassion can exist together. The galaxy needed that reminder. Hai found the young Quilean she had befriended in one of the recovering cities on the planet's surface. The city had been beautiful once. Now it was scarred by Vraxian weapons, but the Quileans were rebuilding with human help. The young alien's name was Ilmath. She floated in a tank of water while human engineers worked nearby to repair a damaged building. Hey! You came to visit. Ilmath's colors brightened with joy. I wanted to see how you were doing. How is the city? Better, slowly better. Your engineers are teaching us things. How to build stronger structures. How to defend ourselves if the bad ones come back. The Vraxians won't come back. Not while we're here. But you will leave eventually, yes? You have your own world. You cannot stay forever. He felt a pang of sadness. The young alien was right. Earth couldn't maintain a fleet here indefinitely. But what would happen when they left? Would the Vraxians return? We'll make sure you're safe before we go, Hay promised. We'll teach you how to protect yourselves. We do not want to become warriors like you. Violence is painful, but Ilmath's colors shifted to something thoughtful. But I understand now. Sometimes you must fight to protect what you love. Your people know this. You fight not because you enjoy violence, but because you love peace enough to defend it. Hay felt tears in her eyes. This young alien understood what the Advanced Council did not. That's exactly right, Ilmath. That's exactly what we believe. On the Vraxian homeworld, Commander Shalkak stood before the High Council of the Dominion. He had escaped the battle, but his failure was complete. He had lost ships, crew, and most importantly, honor. You fled from unknown aliens? The High Counselor hissed. You who have conquered 12 species ran from primitives? They were not primitives, my lord. They were Deathworlders. Stronger than any species we've faced. Their weapons, their tactics, their ferocity. We were not prepared, then we must prepare. Earth, you said? This planet must be found and destroyed. No species can be allowed to humiliate the Dominion. Shalkax bowed his head. He knew this would be the response. The Dominion never forgave defeats. They would seek revenge. And when they did, the Deathworlders would face the full might of the Vraxian war machine. But somewhere deep inside, Shalkax felt something he had never felt before. Fear. He had seen what the humans could do. He had watched them fight with a precision and fury that shocked him. If the Dominion went to war with Earth, it would not be the easy conquest they expected. It would be a real war. And the Vraxians might lose. Back on Earth, the United Nations reached a decision. Ambassador Ho transmitted it to Captain Day personally. Captain, the decision is made. Earth will accept the Council's provisional membership, but only if they agree to 3 conditions. First, no restrictions on humanitarian military actions. If someone asks for help and the Council won't act, we can. Second, full voting rights on all matters related to defense and protection. Third, recognition of Earth's right to form alliances with other Council species. Day smiled. Those are Counselor Miranesh's terms almost exactly. She helped us draft them. Her coalition species have agreed to support our position. Together we have enough votes to make this work. Captain, we're going to be part of the Council, as equals. What does Speaker Thelvar think about this? He's furious, but he's outvoted. The council is changing, Captain, because of what you did. Later that day, Day stood on the surface of Quilea for the first time. Velnaris had invited him to see the recovery efforts personally. They walked, or rather Day walked while Velnaris floated, through a city that was slowly coming back to life. Quillian stopped to watch the human captain pass. Their colors brightened with respect and gratitude. Children floated close, curious and unafraid. They love you, Velnaris said. You are heroes to them. We just did what needed to be done.